We're going to get started, everybody. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Hi, Bruce.
The roll call, please, Sue.
Mr. Arcuri? Mr. Bova?
Here.
Mr. Brodsky?
Here.
Mr. Coyne?
Present.
Mr. D'Elia?
Here.
Mark Ford?
Here.
Mitch Ford?
Here.
Mr. Matullo?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Cesny? Mr. Williams? And Mr. Zwayak?
Here.
Thank you. You have in your packet the March 18, 2013 draft minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I approve.
A second? Second. Any discussion, corrections, deletions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the election of officers. Anyone care to do something about the election of officers?
Could I suggest that we maintain the same slate and put forward that slate as to be voted on?
Anybody crazy enough to want these?
Is that a motion of this?
That's a motion, and I would hope somebody would second it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Feel free to jump in here.
You've done a great job, every one of you.
Thank you.
And we're very thankful that you've spent your time and energies the way you have. At least I am.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Capital reports. Dick?
Well, basically, our capital report for this month was the submission of the water supply permit. Pretty much took a great deal of our efforts. The application and 15 supporting exhibits were overnighted last week to the DEC. They have 30 days to declare it complete or come back to us for more information. Felt very comfortable with the group here in Utica. However, it does go to Albany, so you really never know. But we should know by next board meeting how we stand with that. Once declared complete, the DEC can call for a public hearing. From what we understand, we do anticipate that to occur. So
You're talking about the 4 town permits.
the 4 town permit.
It's taken us 8.5 years to do this
It's back.
We hope to speed that up a little in the future.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, that's.
Any questions for Dick?
Yeah, I got one. Dick, I saw a couple emails regarding the north-south arterial.
Mm-hmm.
Does that, the DOT, does that include the main near Scheidlemann's, the crosses? You got 2 there,
There's
one shut
crossing,
down?
yes. There's one crossing, and we're doing a new line along Fay Street, or along the frontage on the west side to connect some dead ends. And we're upsizing some of the existing mains, some of them are being abandoned. It's about almost 5,000 feet of main altogether is being adjusted or changed somehow. Our involvement involves about $50,000 worth of betterments, where 6 inches go into an 8, where you're buying a casing to go across the arterial, so the new main goes in the casing.
All right, so the one by Scheidlemann's is going to be back on? Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? Thanks, Dick.
Yep.
Anything on finance, Jim?
Just, you have your report in your binder. It's the fiscal year end. So it's unaudited. Some information just to give you. Cash is up $176,000 for the year, which is good. Consumption was up 6.8 million cubic feet for the year after a reduction of 9 million cubic feet. So we're about 480 something million cubic feet for the year. Water sales is up $261,000 compared to our budget, which is 19.4 million for the year, and that's 343,000 more than the prior year. And cash receipts for water sales is 19.3 million. So 19.4 million billed, 19.3 million collected. So it's pretty close. And we'll have more numbers for you as the audit gets started. We're still adjusting some figures. So.
Well, obviously Rocco is in here. Did you have anything, Bruce?
No, I went over a few things with him to clarification, but it's, I think, what we expected.
Any questions for Jim? Thanks, Jim. Moving on to the Executive Director's report.
Thank you. I have just a couple of items. One, I wanted to, I have to apologize for something. Last month, when the board passed the waivers for backwater bills on properties that are being in foreclosure and resold by the city or other municipalities, I gave a report that there was very limited use this year of those waivers. And Milgrano was kind enough to point out to me that there was actually more waivers granted than what I reported to you. The person that did my report generally is the person that handles and coordinates those, but apparently some of them are done in a little bit of a different fashion. So between customer service and accounting, we're just making sure that we don't have any that are falling through the cracks as far as reporting goes. The way it was processed was all fine, but I underreported the amount. I don't have the exact numbers to you, but it wasn't, certainly wasn't anything out of the ordinary as far as prior year's activities. I was a little surprised that the numbers that came to me were a little on the low side. So by next month, I'll tell you what the exact numbers were. But I did tell you numbers that were not entirely accurate, so I want to make sure that I go back on the record and correct that, and I'll do that next month. You might notice the signs on the front window. We're doing some work in that front office. I have thought for years that it's not a good practice that customers have to stand at the window discussing their business in a very public setting, sometimes with people behind them on line. There's no privacy. So we talked about working out a situation where we would bring people into the office and sit them down in a private cubicle, kind of like what you do at the bank if you're going for a loan. But with security concerns the way they are, we'd rather not have the people coming inside the enclosed office area. What we're doing instead, however, is we're going to maintain a presence in the front window. We're going to do it in two ways. The person at the front window is still going to be handling some walk-in traffic and doing other things with other departments. We're going to build a separate cubicle, and Frank and his crew from downstairs are actually doing a lot of the work for us and help design it, so thank you for that. But when you're standing at our front window, there's a door on either side of the window that goes into that office area. Not the doors that come in through the hallway into our offices, but there's a door on each side that goes into that front window area. Between the window and the door to the right, closest to our main door, we're actually going to put a wall up and build an inner cubicle right there. So when somebody comes in and wants to discuss something with a customer service representative, we're actually going to have then somebody that will come from the office through the back of the cubicle, and the customer can go in the door and sit in a private setting. That wall's going to go all the way up to the ceiling with windows on both sides. But it'll be private, and that way customers will have the ability to sit in an enclosed area and talk to our folks in a more professional manner without having to discuss their business in public like that with others around. I've just felt for a long time, as I said, that people deserve the dignity to be able to discuss things in private and not have that out in the open. So these arrangements will take a few weeks to finalize and finish. Sue has also been helpful in helping design the thing. It's kind of a team effort. Ann's people are going to be shuffling folks in and out in different fashions while we're under construction. So if you come in and you see that, don't be alarmed when we're done. We think it's going to be a very good system and an improvement in the way we handle our customers. This Wednesday, I'll be up at the water treatment plant doing a little bit of videotaping with some folks from New York Sash, which is a local company that does window, doors, and home improvements. They have a TV show that airs on the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, and several times during the week called Central New York Open House. And sponsors get quite a bit of visibility. They do a 30-second TV commercial and 3 to 4 minute interview spots. They approached us with a pretty good package that I discussed with our chairman. Our chairman and I met with him and decided that it was a pretty good deal to raise some awareness. And a lot of folks that watch it are into home remodeling and things like that. So water conservation tips, what the piping system, how it functions, how we repair mains, will all be things that will be featured on it. So I wanted to let you know that over the next several months you'll see the Water Authority having a little bit of presence on that show. And we decided as a trial basis we'll do it on a fairly limited basis and see how it goes, and then maybe do it again sometime down the road. But it's a way to get some pretty good messages out to the public. So when the first episodes are going to air, I'll have Sue email you all in case you happen to see the show. We'll get you the schedule so you can see when it's on and judge for yourselves if you think it's effective for us or not. And your feedback is always welcome on these things.
Before you leave that, Pat,
Yeah.
I would just add that they came up with the idea of doing, from the reservoir to your kitchen sink or into your house. So to give an idea of all we had to do for the federal unfunded mandates that were put on us for $30 million and what's going on in the treatment plant. And so hopefully it'll give us some good positive images.
Yep. We also had a visitor in town from the Rotary, Utica Rotary program. Thank you, Bruce, for being the first leg up on that. I didn't know that Rotary did older groups. I thought it was mostly high school age. My daughter actually participated in Rotary years ago and went to France for a year. But they have an older group, 25 to 40, that they do professional exchanges. And they had a group of folks from Australia here. I think they're still in town, or at least they're in central New York. But one of them was an environmental engineer and has a lot of responsibility running a couple of fairly major wastewater treatment plants. And apparently the business that he's with may in fact be absorbing some drinking water plants along the way. So he wanted to have a little bit of insight into drinking water plants, and we all thought it'd be good if he could see ours. So last week we took him up to our plant, and Phil Tankora from our water quality department did a great job explaining the plant, and we walked him through for about 2 hours, and I think it was very beneficial and enjoyable for him, but it was a great tour, and it was nice to have an international visitor. So thank you, Rotary. Thanks, Bruce, for your involvement in setting that up as well. Last thing I want to mention is that the notice to proceed to Neptune meters for the metering radio reading system will likely be signed in the next 24 to 48 hours and transmitted to them formally. We are just waiting on 2 pieces of information that we want to confirm from them in writing, but all of the tests have gone very well so far. The system is exceeding the expectations that were promised in the submittal with the RFP. The range is better than we thought. The reception is better than we thought. We're just testing a few of the features and some of the reporting. And there are 2 key things within the reporting that comes back from the meter that we want to make sure are working properly and that we're getting the signals coded the right way. We should have that confirmation, and as I said, in the next 24 hours. And assuming that all goes well, then we'll be moving ahead with the schedule for the rest of the collectors to be installed, which they expect to take somewhere between 3 and 4 months. So the whole collection network will be in place, we hope, by end of summer. And our guys are going to be doing all the individual house-to-house conversions with the radio modems. And we'll certainly keep you apprised of that progress as it moves along. So I know some of you volunteered to be part of the program, so thank you very much. And we'll let you know how the rest goes. And unless there are any questions, I'm done for now.
Any questions for Pat? Just a quick question about the town of Verona. Have we had any contact with them lately?
Dick and I were out there 2 weeks ago, had a meeting, a very good meeting with the town supervisor, Owen Waller, and a representative from Barton and LaJudas. They are at this time considering whether or not to contact the DEC and reactivate their permit process, which I sort of expect they will. I also have a meeting a week from this coming Monday out in Sherrill to discuss the sort of whole western water supply issue that's been going on. That's the one that also pertains to the consolidation study and grant money that's been resubmitted. And Verona will be there at that meeting, as well as the city of Rome and Vernon and the city of Oneida and 1 or 2 others. So that conversation is active, and as soon as I know anything for sure, I can let you know.
Do you have an idea as to when they may be making a decision on this?
I'll be speaking with the town supervisor this week, and I imagine that he'll give me some indication as to how quickly they'll be resubmitting that. I know they've done some updates already as far as cost estimates on the project. I think based on the meeting that Dick and I were at with their representative from Barton and LaJudas, there's a few more things they're going to need to pull together before they can update the application entirely and be ready to answer questions for DEC. But I would expect sometime in the next few weeks they will be in contact with DEC.
Did you have something, Bruce?
Not on this, another. Actually, two quick things.
Yes.
You might have read in the paper that the city of Utica is thinking about requiring, as part of their landlord program, a local contact for out-of-town owners. Do we have on our records the out-of-town owner of apartments and a local contact, or just the out-of-town owner?
I think it probably varies. Ann can probably answer that more than I can. I think, generally speaking, we have contact information for owners. Some of them, I think, give us local representation. I don't know if they all do. Ann?
We always have, address information for the owners, and many times have phone numbers or emails for them. Not consistent. So we usually try to get both, though.
Okay, what I'm wondering is if similarly, and this might be a legal question, which you don't have to answer right now, but could we require a local contact, somebody that manages the property locally or is a contact locally, within a 20-mile or 25-mile radius of the property? Since a lot of these owners are literally out of state, if not out of the country. And I'm just wondering if it would be of value to us, one, to be able to require that sort of information, and two, is it legal? So, I mean, it's just something I think I'd like to get some feedback on.
I think it'd be helpful.
I'm sure it'd be helpful,
Yeah.
but whether or not we could.
Whether we can actually do that, I don't know.
The other question I have is also legal, and again, I think you've answered this before. I don't remember the full answer, and it doesn't need to be answered now. Is there a way that we can apply a global penalty to an owner of multiple properties? We will shut off properties who don't pay individual properties, but if somebody has 20 properties and half of them are delinquent, very delinquent, and half of them are not so delinquent. So we only focus on the ones that are very delinquent. Could we universally say this owner owns 20 properties, they just play games, can we shut them all down? Can we basically shut them all off? Put the notice up on all the properties, because the one owner is always, honestly, it's always the same owners that do this. I mean, this isn't like it's a different person every month. It's the same people for years that play these games.
Right.
And I would rather not be their cash flow.
I agree.
Which
I
is
know
exactly
we've
what we're
asked
doing.
a similar question of council in the past, but I'm not sure if this question is a little different or not.
Sounds similar, I'll take a look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we can just get some feedback on that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one here again,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous already. And
Anything
he's
else,
sitting
Bruce?
there, he's sitting there owing us $10,000 and nothing's shut off,
Anything else?
No,
Would you,
thank you.
Ted, maybe we could bring that over to Finance Committee. Yes, Trish.
Pat mentioned the treatment plant, and I had spoken to him a couple of weeks ago about, we have so many new members who are not familiar with our facility. And I think it would be worthwhile if we talked about setting up a tour for people who have no idea what the treatment plant looks like or what it does, our SCADA system, other things that are, it would be really beneficial for all the members to be aware of. And I think
Could take care of that?
Yep.
With
We'll do
Sue.
that.
Anything else? Anybody? Any old business? Any new business? We're adjourned. Not bad.
nice work.